A Syracuse alum is running for the city school board. Talking Points correspondent Caroline Strange sat down with him earlier today.
Joining me now in studio is Dan Romeo. He's running for the Syracuse City School Board and is hoping to get the Democratic nomination in the upcoming election. Dan, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And can you just explain a little bit, I know you grew up here, but why you're choosing to run for the Syracuse School Board?
Because I was born and raised in the city of Syracuse, I want to see the people of Syracuse do as well as they possibly can. And education is something that's very important to me. So I know that through education, we can help the people of Syracuse to do great things in life. So I want to run for school board because I think I can make a difference, and I think that in that position I can help to improve our schools from where they are right now.
And do you think that some of the failing schools, what are you going to do to work with those schools? Some of the ones that have been getting bad reviews over the last few years from the state?
It's difficult to call those bad schools or the failing schools because it's how those schools are measured to be failed or bad. But there are things that we can do to improve as a district as a whole. With proper funding, it would be significantly easier, but because of the situation that we're in, we need to find innovative ways to solve these problems. There's specific things like the platform that I'm going to be running on in that we need to improve our career and technical education to help maximize those programs and make them as successful as possible as for where they're going in the future, because we are in the development phase of those. With our early childhood education, we need to get students into school sooner to help advance their careers in school by getting them into pre-K programs. Because we have pre-K classrooms that aren't full right now, we need to find ways to fill those rooms and to get every student that can go into pre-K so that we can start their education as early as possible. Also, by improving the code of conduct and improving safety that's in the school, we can build upon the morale that's in the district right now. And by fixing the current culture that's in the school and turning it around to a more positive one, it'll help us to be more successful, both in the long run and in the short term, so that those failing schools will be helped a little bit at a time as far as getting better. But when you talk about failing schools, it's difficult to say that because of how they're judged.
Mm-hmm. And now the code of conduct that was recently passed, you said it had some trouble this year. What are some of the things you're going to do to help it improve how it works next year?
I want to make sure that it gets the funding that it needs as far as resources for the people in the schools that deal with the code of conduct every day. The resources as far as manpower and getting the people in place that are needed to support the code of conduct, and just an overall turnaround of how people feel about the code. Because of the lack of training and the lack of resources that we haven't put into it, people don't have a good viewpoint of the code of conduct, but it isn't a bad thing. It's just something that needs the idea of it turned around, which hopefully we can do.
Mm-hmm. And now you're seeking the Democratic nomination for one of their 4 spots. What are you going to do if you don't get that?
I plan on primarying, but really it comes down to getting the most effective people on the board to make a difference in our schools. So if there are people that I think are going to do a great job on the board, then maybe I won't primary. But if I feel like I can do a better job than some of the people that are selected, I'm going to primary because I want the best for our schools. And if I think that I'm the best person for that and I need a primary, then I will.
All right, thanks so much, Dan. Talking Points will be right back.